Possiamo gridare un po' perché... Non c'è traffico qui dietro.
You've got to look up in Manchester. Nobody looks up because it always rains, but you miss stuff when you don't look up.
I love the sky, yeah.
All the architecture.
Oh, yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. No, I do look at that. I mean, maybe people from here don't do that. But I always look up, like, you know, I love buildings.
Com'è microfonare le nostre ospiti? Queste gentili ragazze che ci portano in giro.
In un termine, con un termine solo, soffice.
But what made you move to Manchester in the first place? You knew people? Was that like, or you just thought like, oh, Manchester is great?
I was in Preston, finished university. And then,
oh, did you study here before? No.
No. I studied like 40 miles out of Manchester.
All right.
And then just sort of the music culture here.
Yeah.
Just, I had to come. It's, like I say, it's just so much more forward-thinking than London with what it's got.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. You can go anywhere in Manchester. I've been to people's houses in the basement to see a show.
Yeah.
People have gigs in the living room. Just all different stuff, whether it's sort of like noise, sort of art stuff, or whether you just want to go see an indie band. There's always stuff happening. And that's it, the music scene.
Yeah.
Here. You know, the history and party city.
So yeah, these are some of the first studios just along here.
All right.
Which I imagine will be locked.
So each door is a single studio,
Yeah, each one. And then there's just rooms upstairs, there's corridors like this with doors going off it.
Right. So they used to make cotton here?
Yeah, it was an old cotton mill originally.
Right.
Which is like sort of why it's so big and industrial.
Right.
And then Bill took it over. He bought it in 2001.
Yeah.
And it's sort of just been building up ever since. And this has all been redone since it moved in.
At the moment, it's just full of rubbish, but generally, we do quite a lot of animation and stop-motion stuff.
Really, yeah.
So this is where we do that. But it's also just a storeroom.
But in some case, like a museum would, how you say, commission? Like,
Yeah, well, we're based, our history, if you like, of Soup, we're called Soup Collective.
All right.
And our history is music-based. So we started out doing music videos, a lot of music documentaries, touring with bands. You need charisma. You need some, the band have to have charisma. There have to be some characters in there.
Right. What do you reckon is the best music documentary made so far?
Ever.
Ever.
For me, it'll be The Devil and Daniel Johnston.
Okay, see.
Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's amazing, huh?
Incredible, yeah.
But how can it recognize you unless you step out into the light, the light? Don't be sad, I know you will.
Che gallina molesta.
Ho perso i Chris, sai che ci dà
Most of all, I love Manchester. The crumbling warehouses, the railway arches, the cheap, abundant drugs. That's what did in the end.
I think it's a great film.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is its inventiveness. I like the way he hasn't just done a straight film on the sea, you know, on what Manchester was like, because I think that would have been a bit boring.
Really?
You know, it would have just been a documentary, wouldn't it? And what he's done is that he's thought outside the box, and he's played around with the truth a bit.
But are those stories like true? For example, like when they show the Sex Pistols and then Mick Hucknall is in the audience. That's all true.
Yeah, I mean, there's a famous story. There's actually a film called I Swear I Was There, a TV documentary called I Swear I Was There, because apparently there's about, if you count them up, there's about 400 people say they were at that Sex Pistols concert.
But there were only 100.
There's about 40 or something.
40,
yeah.
Right.
But like that, it was Mick Hucknall, it was a band that became Joy Division, it was Morrissey. It was pretty much everyone there did go out and form a band.
Right.
So it wasn't really incredible.
What about the Happy Mondays feeding like drugged bread to pigeons?
I believe that happened, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I think it did happen, yeah.
Okay.
Down! Oh!
Obviously, it's a reconstruction. No pigeons were harmed in the making of this film. Although there are those that say they're pests. Rats with wings.
But you used to...
In depth about this.
Because you used to work for Hacienda.
I did, yeah. I used to work there and I used to go there and, you know, I went there for years and
Be part
years.
of the scene, of this... More than that.
There was a dance scene already. There were clubs that were playing dance music and early electro, what was called electro funk.
This is 1986, 7?
Yeah, well, 84 to 86, 87. Okay. And then basically the Hacienda became, I guess, very popular very quickly for playing the new music, the house music, and the acid and And it became very famous, partly, I think, because it was part of Factory Records, which was already famous.
Right.
Anthony Wilson, you know, New Order, Joy Division, all that.
We've seen that movie. I mean.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it became very, very famous. But to be fair, there was already a scene.
Okay.
And the scene before that was a lot more black. It was a lot more sort of
soul,
sort of jazz, soul, sort of funk based. The Hacienda became a lot more white, not totally white, but a lot more white.
I hear there was something that was even flashier a couple of months ago. You were saying, no?
About the cycle ride?
Yeah, the nudist.
That's what I was talking about.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so it was sort of a naked bike ride of Manchester.
Still to make people, you know,
notice them. Yeah.
Right.
Pay more attention, shine the light on, you know, cycling instead of all of this traffic.
Un po' di effetto gamberetto.
Qui la cerniera mi sa che un po' di tirare.
Ma i ciclisti nudi 2 mesi fa, lì proprio...
lì proprio spariva tutto.
Bambola.
Lì bambola, ma retrattile proprio.
Cane, lì neca. Che devi andare lì?
Lì solo pelle, proprio la vedi la
Well, it's difficult not to notice a nude, you know, cyclist in March, you know? Like, it was cold, right?
Yeah, I felt sorry for the men.
Right. Because also they couldn't show their best, you know, shape, I'm sure. We call that the shrimp effect, because this is not good for TV, but it just becomes, you know, like, it's funny because in English it also sounds like shrink.
Yeah.
So shrink, shrimp, you know. How long have you been involved with this whole, should we call it association?
The Hippodrome, just about a year and a bit.
Yeah?
With my own association, just maybe over 10 years.
This is, what are you trying to turn this into? What exactly?
It's basically to, you know, re-evaluate spaces within the city because of the changing economic, social, cultural environment that we've got. And, you know, over the last decade or so, there's been just a lot of changes going on, and in fact, we're in flux at the moment and nobody really knows what's going on.
Right.
So it was just repossessing spaces in the city and to use them back as a resource in the community.
Minchia, c'è della creepiness.
Questo qua è il piccione.
Questo è il piccione, non era il
Però...
Com'era il tono?